Hello, my friends! Some scientists claim that consciousness is generated by thoughts. I think so I am. They are quite right. For a certain level of consciousness, the daily consciousness of the material game. But these people have never experienced the level of non-thought well known to yogis. There is no thought, and yet consciousness is particularly awake. We even speak of awakening. I call this state the over-consciousness, which also includes different levels resulting in a greater or less ecstatic intensity. I only realize this until I go down level. All these levels lie between the fifth and the ninth dimensions. The most intense vacuity and ecstasy, the extreme that a human being can achieve on his own, generally following this or that teaching. When I was called in the 10th, seen from here, for in reality this is the first, the ecstatic intensity of my consciousness was beyond any descriptions. That's where we came from. It's the kingdom of Jesus, who said that he was not of this world, and that's where we'll go back. So, the merry-go-round in the great game of life are what we call reincarnation. Many traditions around the world refer to it. In Tibet, the Dalai Lama is chosen by recognizing in a very small child signs which shows that he is indeed the disease reincarnated. For example, he is offered a set of various objects and he himself chose which belonged to him in his previous life. Closer to us, a longtime friend, Marie-Noël, told me that when she was little, from a baby to 5, she was awakened at night by a recurring nightmare. She was a man in a rough seas, a big sailing vessel was coming over her and drowned her. She knew it was a naval battle traveler. These nightmares were long before she was old enough to learn it in books or at school. As far as I am concerned, I have a circular milk coffee birthmark about 2 centimeters in diameter under my left breast at heart height. In my back, in a straight line, in another spot, black, that one with hair coming out of it. Looks like the scar from a bullet that would have gone in the face on to pull out behind after it pierced the heart. I discovered a short time ago that this stain has lightened a lot as if the scar was healing. Curiously, looking at the black spot in the mirror, I realized that it evokes the map of France. However, a long time ago, I had a particularly intense dream that strongly marked me. It took place during the war of 1914-1918. I wore the horizon blue uniform of the French army and I saw myself running bayonets to the cannon in the middle of an offensive charge. The ground was ravaged and bayonets of soldiers buried alive in trenches appeared. Where do we go when we finish the ride, when we are dead? Our bubble consciousness, called the soul, goes into the 5th dimension. It is that of the paranormal, of ghosts, of thought transmissions, of visions, of premonitions, of prophecies. It's not coming home. As in a fun fair, there are various kinds of rides, types or lives, calm with the big wheels, agitated ones that snake in all directions, and scary ones like the ghost train. The choice of these rides is directed by what the Hindu call karma. Likewise, there are technicians who come to organize, control, and direct at all levels. All important men and women in human history, the good, like the bad, Nero, Napoleon, Hitler, Stalin, etc., or the prophets, were technicians charged with guiding the game in one direction or another. Also, probably they were not aware of it. The good or the bad, the angels or the demons are each of us at different times in life and at different levels, without necessarily being aware of it. The SS officer who martyred the prisoner in the extermination camps as a professional demon became an angel at night for his family and children. Myself, I probably made young girls in love with me suffer in my youth. The mutual love not being shared, I did not realize the suffering I caused when I let them down. About suffering, we often hear, what does God do when He lets little children suffer? First, God is neither good nor bad. He is everything. To understand suffering, one must know the purpose of the game. When you have fun, you want to experience different sensations from those you usually have at home. Otherwise, what's the point if it's the same? In the 19th century, the very wealthy people in the earthly paradise, becoming bored, were going to slumber in the midst of the populace and the violent dangers of the time to have fun, not to be bored. At home, the 10th dimension is only beauty, harmony, light, energy, love. The opposite is suffering. In fact, the main purpose of the great cosmic game is to experience suffering in all forms: physical, moral, direct, indirect, small, big, anxious, etc. That is why there has always been suffering on earth. Whether it's the animal kingdom where the rule is to eat or be eaten, or in the history of civilization, which is only wars, torture, exploitation, disease, suffering of all kinds. Suffering is relative and can even become a source of pleasure. Masochists are an example. Without being masochists, and overcome suffering often gives satisfaction.